Hello, welcome to Karen1TV. My name is Yaza. Today we have two special guests, General Nerdah and Dr. Kevin. They are going to tell us what's going on back in Kawthoolei and current situation. Hello, General Nerdah. It's a pleasure to have you in our show today. We know there's wars going on back in Kawthoolei. Do you mind sharing a brief overview of what's happening, when did it start, what made this current attack different from the thing in the past that they have done?
Yes. Currently, we have a lot of fightings in the Karen area, especially in the 6th Brigade, 1st Brigade, and the 5th Brigade areas. And because of the Burmese military regime, they never keep their promises. They will come into our territories without permission, without asking us, and then they try to extend their territories and they put the administration in our administration. That's why the administration in our area is kind of overlapping. That's why we have to do counter attack, and then we have to defend our country and territories, not to be taken by the Burmese army.
Many ethnic minorities and villagers are on the run and relocating. Where are they now, and are they safe from the attack?
Especially when there is a fighting, people always have to escape. And people who escape the battle, I don't think they are able to save themselves. Right now, the fighting will continue, so they should be staying at the place where it's safe for them until everything is safe. Then they can go back.
Lately, the Burmese military have sent in the helicopter flying low. Are they shooting and targeting the villagers? Is that correct?
They're executing what we call the genocide and also ethnic cleansing. They don't care whether they kill the civilians or people or their own people. They just kill people randomly, and also they using helicopter gunship, and they bomb the place randomly. So you can see that these people, they have humanity, and they're very inhumane, and they are committing all kinds of human rights violations and crimes against humanity.
What are some advantage and disadvantage for our Karen army and all other ethnic group when facing the Burmese military?
Well, in the front line, we can see that because the people are rising up against the regime, so the soldiers, the Burmese soldiers in the front line, also they're losing their morale. They don't want to fight anymore. That's why whenever we face with them and fighting with them, we will like defeat them easily and also capture them a lot.
Thank you, General Nerdah, for answering all these questions. Now we will ask a couple questions for Dr. Kevin. Pleasure to have you in our show. I know you dealt with this before. What are your thoughts on the current attack against the Karen people and all other ethnic people by the Burmese military?
The current attacks against our Karen people and all the other ethnic people in the Burma-Thai region is extremely disturbing, and the reality is the Burmese generals will never stop. Recently, some of the statements that they made is that if they cannot have control of Burma, that they will burn it, they will destroy it. And that goes to the level of evilness that they have, that if they can't have something, they will destroy it and everyone in it. And that's what we have here, and that's why the world must come together and stand against this brutal regime. It is unconscionable for anyone to sit by and do nothing about it.
What do you think the international association and powers such as the United Nations and the United States are still not involved yet, and kind of turn blind eyes even though there's video evidence all over the social media?
Such as the United Nations, United States, Australia. Some of the challenges that they face is the fact that Russia and China are the big brother to the corrupt Burma generals. They're the ones that enable them. And unfortunately, the United Nations has a Security Council, and both Russia and China have veto power. And so it's very unlikely that the United Nations would be able to pass anything such as a no-fly zone and things like that that need to happen. because Russia and China will support the Burma regime. And that's very, very concerning. United States and Australia, there are things that they can do, and I think some of the things that they need to be doing is pushing harsh sanctions, anything that they can to force the Burmese generals into at least a no-fly zone, because they are decimating ethnic people with their helicopters and military jets, bombing and actually firing on villagers from helicopters that are flying just above the treetops. Is just disgraceful.
What are the winning chances if all ethnic groups come together to fight as one? And is this possible?
As far as ethnic groups coming together, they actually already are. The challenge that I see is the proxy leaders that the Burmese have installed throughout ethnic groups that have more interest in the Burmese generals than they are their own people. In other words, they stand with the corrupt Burma generals rather than standing with their own people. And so I think each ethnic group has to start standing up and identify who their true leaders are. And I would say a true leader would be someone that actually puts the interest of the people first, that they defend their people and they stand for freedom and self-determination.
Do you think there will be another current demonstration at Washington, D.C. this year?
We are planning another trip to Washington, D.C. in 2022. What this hinges on is the COVID, and depending on if any new variants come out, like the most recent Omicron, which actually spread very, very quickly. It had 70 times the transmission rate as the other variants. So it will depend on that. So hopefully we will, and hopefully we'll have a larger demonstration more towards the United Nations potentially this year. More to come on that.
What is your message for all the Karen people all over the world who are watching this right now?
Karen people around the world, continue to stand strong and be amazing Karen, loving each other, stand for unity, united together for freedom and self-determination. I would encourage you to continually do everything you can to return back to Kawthoolei and stand with our people, and send resources down there to your family members and relatives that you know that you can send them things and that they will go and use it to the best of where the needs are really needed most in their location where they're at. For Karen in Kawthoolei, I would encourage them to continue to stand strong like they are doing. They're amazing. They're amazingly resilient. And we love you all. We believe in you, and we will never give up. We will always stand with you and stay strong. And we all must really pray and ask God to stand with us and to have his hand in this, in neutralizing these corrupt Burmese generals. So I think the stage is set for some things to happen. But the biggest thing for me is that people really look to General Bajahe and General Nerdah as the 2-point men that are defending their people. And that we rally around them and hold their arms up strong rather than everybody trying to start new organizations or new movements. That actually is what weakens everyone. We need to have a united front between those two men that stand for their people.
This difficult time, we all have to work harder than before. We all have to be united, work together. And I can see that it is the golden time for us, where everybody is fighting. We shouldn't be sitting around. We should work together, try to do things that we can do, work together and coordinating with each other, and together with the ethnic brothers and sister ethnic groups, ethnic armed groups, and defeat our common enemy as soon as possible, because the longer we keep them, the trouble we're gonna have in the future. So it is time for us to reform. It is time for us to make a change, and it is time for us to defeat our common enemies. And we don't want any military dictatorship in Burma anymore. We need to erase them completely and reform the country. The Burmese military people are the devil. If you dance with them, you cannot mingle around with them. You know, if you dance with them, we're all gonna die. We can never see our freedom. That's why it is important to follow good leaders, go on the right path, and then follow good leaders to the end. And then we can achieve freedom, self-determination, and things that we want, things that people, the goal that people want to reach.
Thank you so much, General Nerdah and Dr. Kevin. It is always a pleasure to have you in our shows. We do hope that the international community to get more involved into the current situation back in Kawthoolei and for all ethnic people who are suffering right now. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next video.